Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, we're actually over the past couple of days, the devs have been absolutely flooding the DevBlog with DevBlog after DevBlog after DevBlog, with some quite interesting ships being announced along with the details of the New Year celebration, which includes the Christmas containers and the upcoming Schroder Dockyard. So we're going to go ahead, dive on into these. If you want to see a particular portion of this DevBlog, the chapters should be set up, so check out the timeline down below. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Starting in the order, well, going in the order that these DevBlogs were released, we have the Dupleix and Z-42. So, they state, French cruiser Dupleix and German destroyer Z-42 have been added to the game for testing. So first up is French cruiser Dupleix. I believe that's how you say, at least in Cajun French, that's what those words make, those letters make when they're put together. So, Tier 6, a Suffren class heavy cruiser that differed from her sister ships in her armor scheme, which incorporated an internal armor belt. A typical treaty cruiser, heavy gunnery was favored over strong protection. The ship is armed with 8 203mm main battery guns placed in 4 turrets, and a torpedo armament comparable to that found aboard the researchable French heavy cruisers. Her main battery's low fire rate is compensated by its long range and turret traverse speed, as well as the availability of the main battery reload booster consumable. Dupleix has a sizable HP pool, but a vulnerable citadel and mediocre concealment and armor. She is at her finest when engaging in mid and long distance gunfights, and her torpedoes can get her out of sticky situations at close range. The ship's good maneuverability and her improved engine boost consumable can work in unison to help in quickly changing flanks or swiftly coming to the aid of allied ships. Her wide range of consumables includes the aforementioned engine boost, which increases the ship speed by 15%, a choice between Hydro or DFAA, and main battery reload booster. So, 203 armed French cruiser at Tier 6. 203 is definitely on the larger side of the mid-tier cruisers, but it does just sound like another French cruiser. It doesn't sound like anything too crazy. It does get the main battery reload booster in those 203s, though, so I imagine that's going to be pretty goofy when used. But, yeah, I mean, if it is like the other French cruisers and is pretty easily citadel, especially at mid-tier, I don't see the ship being too much of a problem. It sounds like actually a pretty fun ship. So let's see her stats real quick. So she has 34,900 hit points, 16mm armor plating, 30-second fires, and her guns reload in 15 seconds. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, you gotta pay for having 203s at Tier 6 some way. What can they pin? 34mm of armor of HE pin. Oh my god, yeah, that's wow. That's going to be some pain you're putting down range. 15% fire chance, so again, you don't have to take IFHE because you can pin 34. 850 meters second AP and HE shell velocity. The AP does 4,800 maximum damage. HE does 2,800 maximum damage. Let's see, where is her reload booster? What does that do? Main battery reload booster, 15-second action time. Yep, 50% cut down on the reload time. So 15 seconds, that's what? That's 7 seconds and change, 15-second action time. So you can get 3 relatively quick burst out with the reload booster going. Otherwise, it's a pretty slow reload time. What's the range in the guns too? Let's see. Where is the range? Sigma 2.0, 15-second reload time, 180 time, 25 seconds, 150 meter maximum dispersion. Oh, right there, 16.9. Nice. So, yeah, that's pretty there. That's pretty good for a Tier 6 cruiser. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this one. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. It sounds just like maybe with the internal armor belt, it'll be slightly different than the other French cruisers, although the French cruiser's armor is so wonky in the first place, I don't think it'll really be too far off. But we'll see with the Dupleix. Alright, the Z-42 Tier 10. A variant of the Type 1936B destroyer class fielded by the Kriegsmarine. Unlike her sister ships, Z-42's main battery is composed of dual-purpose guns, which are spread between 5 twin 105mm mounts. So it's got the secondaries from the German battleships. So it's got 5 of these mounts. So that's 10 guns, 10 105s. Okay. Ooh, those are only going to have like 27, 26 millimeters of pin. That doesn't sound good. In terms of gameplay, Z42 is reminiscent of Harugumo due to her quick-firing guns with increased armor pin and good AP shell damage. Oh, okay, so if they have increased pin... Okay. She is quite capable of countering enemy destroyers and supporting allies with covering fire. Her torpedo armament is represented by two 4-tubed launchers with average characteristics for the tier. The ship's small HP pool is offset by their good concealment and speed. As far as consumables, Z42 has access to a short burst smoke generator with a short action time but large number of charges, engine boost, and hydro with improved action time and acquisition range. So, let's see. Z42 hit points 19,700, 19mm plating, 5x2 105s, 12.6 kilometer base range, maximum shell damage 1200, HE armor pin, yeah, 26mm. Okay. Chance to cause fire 5%, HE initial velocity 900 meters a second. Maximum AP shell damage 2300, AP shell velocity 900 meters a second. So yeah, only 26 millimeters of pin. That's not good. Like the Harugumo, her base pin's 30, so right off the bat you can deal with most of the cruisers at that tier, and definitely all of the destroyers. But the Z42, I mean, 26 millimeters. You're going to have to take an IFHE for that. That's going to take your 5% fire chance down to like 2.5%. And a 3.1 second reload time base, of course, with consumables, not consumables, with modules and some commander skills, you can get that down. Okay, yeah, so let's see your consumables. Damage con, short burst, smoke. It's active for 10 seconds. And yeah, engine boost, hydro. Yeah, okay, so it's a Harugumo without a smoke screen to use. So you're going to have to dump 4 points into IFHE, and you're going to have to hug islands a lot, or be very brave and do some open water gunboating. Against other destroyers at close range, maybe, because you have 10 guns, and once you build into it, you can probably get this 3.1 second reload down to what? I would say at least 2.5 seconds, or maybe like lower 2 seconds, which again, with 10 shells coming out every 2 seconds, then you throw Adrenaline Rush in there too. Maybe it'll work, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be too comfortable to play, in my opinion. And this is going to be what looks like another tier 10 freemium, so maybe a research bureau or a coal ship. So we'll see with the Z42. Alright, up next we've got some Commonwealth action going on, along with Gigachad Forrest Sherman here. So let's get into it. So in this DevBlog, they state Commonwealth Cruiser Brisbane, American Super Destroyer Joshua Humphreys, and Pan-Asian Super Destroyer Kunming have been added to the game for testing. So, Commonwealth Cruiser Brisbane Tier 10, a project for a light cruiser developed after the end of World War II that would have been equipped with powerful and advanced AA defenses, thanks in part to its main battery of 10 quick-firing 152mm dual-purpose guns. Brisbane resembles Minotaur, but with access to HE and a reinforced torpedo armament that can launch a greater number of torpedoes. Oh lord. The torpedoes themselves have a high range and speed than those of the ship's British counterpart. Not all differences are advantages, however, as Brisbane's AP shells lack the improved characteristics that Minotaur has. Whew, I thought they were going to give away her super heal, because with this armor scheme, you definitely need that heal. This cruiser poses a serious threat at medium distances, especially for enemy destroyers due to her hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar consumables. At the same time, as most Minotaur captains can attest to, Brisbane armor is not the sturdiest, and unlike Minotaur, okay. This ship cannot switch out her surveillance radar for a smoke generator for an added layer of security in case of heavy damage, though she can restore a large part of her lost HP with specialized repair teams consumable. Okay, roller coaster of a paragraph there. I kept expecting to say they were going to take away the super heal, because that's not going to work very well with a Minotaur hull. Okay. So, you're forced to play Radar and Minotaur, but you get Radar and Hydro, it sounds like? So that's interesting. So it's higher risk, higher reward, Minotaur? Let's see what else they have to say about it. They just go over her naming, what's the word I'm looking for? Her naming method. But yeah, whatever. So they say 43,300 hit points, 16mm plating, 30-second fires, 13% torpedo protection, 5x2 152s, firing range 15.8 kilometers. HE shell damage is 2150. You have 30mm of pin with the shell's base, so you're going to take IFHE to go with 32. Chance to call fires are at 9%, so if you take IFHE, that's going to be down to like 4% and change. 768 meters a second initial velocity from the HE. AP does 3,200 maximum damage and comes up the tube at 768 meters a second as well. 4.5 second reload time. They 180 and 4.7 seconds as well. Okay, the torpedoes. She has 4x5 533s. That's 20 torps. Maximum damage of 16,767. 12.5 kilometer range, 65 knot speed, 131 second reload time. They 187.2 seconds, and the concealment is 1.3 kilometers. Instead of choosing between wide and narrow spreads, captains can choose to fire off individual torps or expend the entire tube at once, so British torps. Okay, so she gets damage con, specialized repair team, yep, and hydro and surveillance radar in the same, on the same bar. They don't have to share a slot. So the radar is active for 40 seconds, 10 kilometer range, reloads 120 seconds, you get 3 charges of that base. Specialized repair teams, it's the Minotaur here, 20 second duration, 866 HP per second restored, reloads in 80 seconds, you get 3 charges of that base. I'm assuming that it, of course, regenerates the same type of damage too, via, citadel damage and extremities damage and such. Okay, so the Brisbane, I'm interested to see how this one goes. I am curious to also know if this is what they're maybe going to do with the Commonwealth tech line. If this is potentially kind of a test bed for that whole line. Maybe more high risk, high reward versions of the Royal Navy ships that we already have. And it's been discussed many times, talking about bringing the Commonwealth tech tree, making the Commonwealth tech tree a thing. It would just be a bunch of hand-me-down Royal Navy ships, as was most Commonwealth navies during and after the Second World War. But if they do this with them, I think it'll work out quite well. I mean, Minotaur's already such a good platform that this, if it doesn't work, I think will still be a pretty neat side grade to the Minotaur for the Minotaur players out there. Alright, the Gigachad Forrest Sherman, the Joshua Humphreys, a destroyer structurally similar to the Gearing-class ships. The main armament of the supership consists of powerful 127mm post-war dual-purpose mounts complemented with 2 5-tube torpedo launchers. So it's the guns that Forrest Sherman has, but they are 2 barrels per turret now. Joshua Humphreys is a faster and more agile ship with 6 main battery guns and access to the burst fire alternative firing mode. In addition to a greatly increased fire rate, the alternative mode grants a temporary bonus to HE shells, damage, and chance to set fire. The ship's strong gunnery and large HP pool allow her to effectively contest key areas while posing a serious threat to enemy destroyers. The torpedo armament has a high range, but not the greatest speed and damage. Joshua Humphreys stands out for her good concealment and access to the signature American smoke generator consumable with a long smoke screen dispersion time. The remainder of her arsenal of consumables is composed of an engine boost and DFAA in the same slots. Okay, let's see what her stats are. 23,700 hit points, 3x2, 127, so 6 guns. Firing range of 12.1 kilometers, maximum HE shell damage 1800, AP shell damage of 2100. The HE shells have 21mm of pin, so you're going to need IFHE. 5% chance calling fire per target, fire per shell. And they come with the 2 to 792 meters a second for both the AP and the HE. 3 second reload time, 180 and 4.5 seconds, maximum dispersion 106 meters, 2.0 sigma. The burst fire has a reload time of 35 seconds, and it reduces the reload time down to 1.5 seconds, and you get 3 bursts. Okay. Oh, they also... Okay, I see. Maximum HE shell damage also gets increased by 50%, and you get a 5% boost to your fire chance. I forgot that the alternative firing modes also magically make your shells more better, Alright, the torpedoes, 17,900 maximum damage, 16.5 kilometer range, 66 knots, and they reload 116 seconds. And she gets damage con, smoke generator, engine boost, or DFAA. Okay, so, yeah, it's a better Forrest Sherman without SAP. Well, I guess you could say it's better, because it does have such a big pickup in firepower. Literally doubles the firepower of the Sherman. So... Yeah, I do know they say it's like a better gearing, but I mean, hey, it looks like a Sherman. It's got the Sherman turrets. Yeah. All right. So this will be an interesting one to see once she gets through testing and such. But super ships, again, I don't really like them in the game, but obviously Wargaming doesn't really care what I say about that. Um, it's not like they're going to go and remove super ships tomorrow or anything like that. But I guess they're here to stay, so we're going to be seeing more and more stuff like this. I do like that it's just, a slightly better gearing at the end of the day rather than, some crazy stuff that we're getting with some of the other super ships. All right, the Kunming, or Kunming. Have fun with that, YouTube. An evolution of the American Submariners class, this destroyer is fast, well-armed, and features enhanced torpedoes and anti-aircraft armament. Kunming follows the gameplay concept of existing researchable Pan-Asian destroyers. The main difference between this ship and Yu Yang is an additional main battery turret, a longer firing range, and more torpedo tubes. Her powerful deep-water torps that have a low detectability and an increased chance to cause flooding are suitable for performing stealthy torpedo attacks on large targets. Thanks to her smoke generator with a large number of charges and accelerated cooldown, the Super Destroyer can effectively fight for control of key areas and make a quick retreat in case of a bad engagement. The surveillance radar consumable is available as an alternative to smoke generator in the same slot, just like the Yu Yang, which gives its own advantage in hunting enemy DDs and supporting allies. It's important to remember that the ship has a rather small HP pool and a below average damage per second on her main battery guns. Kunming also has access to the engine boost and torpedo reload booster consumable in separate slots, so it better Yu Yang. Better Yu Yang. Alright, I won't go into the details of that one because I want to avoid making a 30-minute long video on just some DevBlog. So if you want to check out the details of the Kunming, you can check that out in the article, which all three of these are linked in the comments down below, in the description down below. Alright, moving on to the New Year's DevBlog. So, they state, New Year's celebration, Dockyard, brawls, and other features in 11.11. Close testing. We've prepared a bunch of fun activities and interesting rewards to celebrate the new year. Let's talk about the main novelties of the upcoming update. So Dockyard, in update 11.11, the construction of the new German Tier 9 cruiser Admiral Schroder will begin at the Dockyard. Event rules. The construction consists of 30 phases. Construction phases can be completed by progressing through Dockyard combat missions or by purchasing them for 1,715 dubs each. The combat missions can be completed through update 11.11, plus the first 2 weeks of update 12.0, while the Dockyard itself will remain available until the release of update 12.1. In total, you can progress through 26 of the 30 construction phases by completing combat missions. The reward for reaching phase 19 will be the British Tier 7 battleship Renown 44, so we can get Renown 44 completely for free, boys. I am very happy to hear that. Okay, so need 4 phases, 1750 a pop, so yeah, around 7,000 dubs, you can get a Tier 9 premium ship. So that's pretty good. It's a good deal right there. And of course, the Dockyard comes with all types of goodies with it as well. Will the Schroder be worth it? I don't know. I'll let you guys know when I get it and play her. I cannot say anything about the Schroder without saying, Wargaming, give Siegfried your secondaries back. For the love of God. Do it already. Moving on. They state you will still be able to complete the Dockyard combat missions even if you complete the construction of Admiral Schroder with the help of doubloons. However, instead of construction phases, you will receive 250 steel for each phase. So those of us that are hungry for steel, there you go. Carol Clash. One of the main New Year features will be the Carol Clash temporary event. In this event, 2 teams of Santas from the North and South Poles compete to deliver gifts as quickly as possible. Carol Clash is similar to events such as New Year's Nights and Industry Titan, so yeah, just a little event going on. You have to choose which team you want to be a part of and join the race. At the finish line, each team will give you a New Year's reward, one of the 2 themed commanders and one of the 2 permanent camouflages, Silver Swirls for Highlander Conqueror. The first time you receive a reward from either of the 2 teams, you will also receive the Carol Clash achievement. Alright, so there's the commanders we're going for. Dude, the Santa, like, third from the left, or second from the right, that dude goes hard. That's the one I want. And then there it is in the Conqueror and on the Holland. Nice details. Again, art department doing their jobs, as always. For participating in the event, you will be able to earn Frosty tokens, which can be exchanged for New Year commanders, containers with permanent camouflages, and various other items. In honor of the New Year, the following items were added to the game. Themed commanders with unique voice acting, Papa Noel for Spanish ships, Papa Noel for Pan American ships, Pirate Santa for Commonwealth ships, and Scrooge Nicholson for Nicholson for British ships. Frosty Knight commemorative flag, and the Frosty Finery container with the permanent economic bonuses for tier 5 to 8 ships and permanent camouflages. Alright, festive rewards of the Snowflake event, if you will. For update 11.11, players will receive traditional New Year rewards for battle results on all their ships, starting from tier 5. Just like during the World Warships 7th anniversary celebrations, players with 100 or more ships in their port will be able to receive multiple rewards in one battle. So to clarify this, I would like to think that by now everyone knows how that event went. But if you have 100 or more ships, you can collect multiple rewards per battle, because like players like me, I've got like upwards of 300, almost 400 ships in my port. That's a lot of battles to play with each and every ship to get the rewards. So Wargaming gives us some mercy, and if you have multiple hundreds of ships, you can collect multiple rewards in one battle. Players with 100 or less ships can still collect the rewards normally. Everyone gets the rewards, it's just to make it convenient for players with larger ports. So depending on the tier of the ship, players receive various gifts. Tier 5 to 7 ships, 750 coal. Tier 8 to 9 ships, 75 steel. That's pretty generous. Tier 8 ships getting steel. Tier 10 ships, 1 New Year certificate. Super ships, 500 research points. That's funny. New Year certificates are a temporary resource that can be exchanged in update 11.11 for 375,000 credits, or for any of the 3 types of Santa Gifts containers. Santa Gift containers, the normal size one is 1 New Year certificate. The big gift container is 3 New Year certificates. The mega gift container is 5 New Year certificates. So this was a good system. It worked very well last year. It allowed you to decide what you wanted to get from the event. Used to, depending upon the ship's tier, that determined what type of container you can get. But now with these certificates, you can choose whatever it is that you want to get by, saving these certificates up and then cashing them in on the mega containers or the big gift containers, depending upon what you want. So I very much like that. In honor of the celebration, the Fjords port was decorated and the appearance of the Santa gift containers was updated. So there's that. My PC's going to cry even more when I load up the Fjords containers. Oh, the Santa gift containers, those are cute. They're gingerbread houses. Look at you go, art department. Alright, let's see. There's a lot to go through here. Let's see. Did they mention the... Okay, here's the containers. This is what we want to look at. There were some other smaller changes like brawls and a bounty event going in. Oh, hold up. Speaking of skimming over stuff. Tutorial task for new players. In the Waterline at the beginning of the year, we told you that we were working on training tasks for new players. In update 11.11, we are adding introductory missions in a test format. They will allow beginners to master the basic principles of the game. These tasks are accompanied by hints and consistently paying attention to various game mechanics. And for their completion, the players will receive a small reward. The tasks will be available to players who have fought no more than 300 battles. In order to complete them, they will need to not only prove themselves in battle, but also to perform certain actions in the port. Okay, I like that, because there's not a lot of tutorial type deals going on when you get into this game. You do have like a couple of videos that'll pop up every now and then, but most players just click through that. Other games like War Thunder have a much more comprehensive training, either little game mode that you play or something like that. So I'm glad they're putting that in, and that'll help newer players find their bearings and the like. Alright, so let's see. 40 new ships have been added to the Santa's Gifts and the Santa's Big Gifts and the Santa Mega Gift containers. So, whoa, okay. It's basically a bunch of new premiums from this year, in addition to... Hold up! Tier 10 ships or a rare ship. Oh, hello. Anchorage, Julius Caesare, Odin, Hizen. Oh, these are Dockyard ships. The Odin and the Hizen, and yeah, the Anchorage was one too. So the Dockyard ships are now appearing in the tier, if you roll a tier 10 ship. Oh. Okay, Ouija. Super containers as well. Yeah, let me just screenshot this so you guys can see the graph here if you want to see all the ships. Okay. Okay, Ouija. Huh. I figured they weren't going to make these ships and, like dump all the time and resources into, making the 3D models, going through, making sure everything works, and just have them out for, one dockyard. That wouldn't make sense. I mean, sure, they make a bunch of money off the dockyard, but they still have this whole asset that they spent so long making that it's here for one event, then it's gone. So that makes sense that they're stuffing them in the containers. because of course Black Friday and the Santa container event are of course the some of their biggest money makers throughout the year. So yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it's neat that they're in there. That way, if you missed them, you have a chance of getting them around Christmas time. And if you have a decent-sized fleet in your port, you probably have a pretty solid chance of getting them if you save up your New Year certificates and dump them into the mega containers. Actually, I think the big containers with a better bang for your buck, because you could get more of them than the megas, and it came out on top if you could get like a bunch of them. But yeah, okay, Ouija. I thought they'd put them out for sale for like $100, something like that. I didn't think they'd put them in the containers. So yeah, all right. So guys, that is the round of devlogs that we have for today. At the time of me recording, they haven't released any new devlogs just yet. So know what you guys think about these bits of news in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will be live streaming tonight right here on the channel around 5 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So make sure to come out for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys, if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 45,000 subs. We're starting our 40K giveaway Monday, so make sure you check out Monday's video for that information. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.